Welcome back to Hannity and Combs. I'm Alan Combs. Still to come, Vice President Cheney speaks out in a rare and exclusive interview. He takes on controversial DNC Chair Howard Dean. Plus, will he or won't he his plans for 2008? But first, you're looking live at Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. Jackson is free tonight after a bizarre trial that gained international attention. Rejoined by our all-star legal panel at the courthouse is Fox News legal analyst Bob Massey, celebrity justice correspondent Pat LaLama, former O.J. Simpson prosecutor Marcia Clark, and the host of At Large, our very own Geraldo Rivera. Now, Geraldo, Pat said just before we broke, kids everywhere now, if there's a case to be brought, there'll be hesitancy to bring the case because of what happened here.
That is so cruel, unfair, and illogical. It really is. This case was a flawed case from the very beginning. Let me just say, Alan, that a lot of people say they wanted Michael Jackson to be convicted, not necessarily because he molested this child, because they know in their heart of hearts, sometime in his life, he has been a pedophile.
Previous cases
but that's not the way the criminal justice... Right. I know, and the law is absolutely unconstitutional. What you have a situation here is, this is the case he was tried for. Did he molest this child or did he not? I submit to you that the evidence was not... It was nowhere near sufficient. I was afraid that the jury would be stampeded by all of the kitchen sink that Tom Sneddon threw at this guy. He threw these 12, 13-year-old cases that were never even cases, never charged in a court of law, never tested under oath before, ancient cases. He threw everything at Michael Jackson. It didn't stick. Right. But any child who is molested, first of all, their parents, if they hear that the child has been molested, they call 911. They don't call Larry Feldman, who got the settlement in the 1993 case. Remember, Larry Feldman told Larry King that his client was just in it for the money. That evidence was not introduced because it was hearsay, but that was what Larry King came to that court and told the judge in the offer of evidence what he was going to testify.
Let me get Marcia Clark back in here. Marcia, you said earlier that this jury may have been swayed by the celebrity of Michael Jackson. Are there parallels here between this and the O.J. case?
Sure. I mean, to the extent that both were celebrities, but the O.J. case I would take to another side. There were so many other things going on in that case.
That was a race
that
case.
I wouldn't even compare them. Don't put them in the same category.
Really?
This is a whole separate circumstance, separate charges, very different feeling about it. And I do think that celebrity had a lot to do with it. And I don't think that that observation deserves to be dismissed as hysterical rhetoric. I think it's really obvious that a jury that walks out and sees news vans and helicopters and satellites everywhere cannot avoid knowing that
hysterical
that's
rhetoric
the case.
is to say that children won't be bringing molestation claims.
I didn't say that, and I didn't say that. However, let me just say that I think it's absolutely true that victims will look at this case and say, why come forward, why report? It won't matter. No one will believe it. And by the way, whether there's a celebrity involved or not, gentlemen, child molestation cases are very difficult to prove. And to say that you know absolutely that no child is going to be dissuaded by this is ridiculous.
All right, let me go to Bob Massey. You're out there in Santa Maria. Bob, here's the point.
Sir.
The boy made the allegation. The boy testified under oath. It really came down to, in this entire case, the boy's word versus Michael Jackson's word. Isn't that what it really is at the end of the day? And Pat LaLama's made some very good points in the past here, is that pedophiles will not target kids with strong family backgrounds. They'll target kids from dysfunctional families. Hence, you have this built-in reasonable doubt. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But remember one thing, Sean. Even Dr. Katz, who was a prosecution witness, said that Michael Jackson was not a pedophile. That's number one. Number two, you cannot
think you should say that for certain, that the guy that paid out millions, that the guy admits to sleep with teenage boys is not?
It's true. Now, the other part of this is very important. The mother could not be disconnected from this child. And you know what? Listen, the kid was a cancer victim. I mean, nobody wants to see children be molested, Sean. But I will tell you, again, no disrespect to the ladies or anyone else, it was so difficult, Sean, to disconnect the mother from this case.
But the last thing he said in his testimony, and I got to throw this to Pat, we're almost out of time this segment, Pat, was don't tell my mother.
Exactly. Exactly. And let me just say one thing on the issue of hysterical rhetoric. Who on the panel said this was all about race? I don't know. You tell me.
Want to respond?
No, I never said. What I said is that not only did Tom Sneddon throw the kitchen sink, the persecutor throw the kitchen sink, he also had a racially cleansed jury. He would not even let a black person. He did everything he could to stack the deck against Michael Jackson, and he failed. Tom Sneddon should be impeached. Tom Sneddon has wasted. He has squandered the money of the people. How many real criminals have gotten off during the time that he has been after Michael Jackson in this witch hunt? How many violent felons have gotten off?
We got to run.
Sean, can we answer the question you posed? How about we answer the question you posed? The mother was framed up as being the person who programmed everyone. But the first interview that was videotaped with the boy by the sheriff, he ended the videotape by saying, "Please don't tell my mother." That is not a boy who's been programmed by his mother.
We thank Marcia. We thank Pat. We thank Bob. Geraldo stays with us. Later in the show, an exclusive interview. Sean goes one-on-one with Vice President Dick Cheney. What are the VP's plans for 2008? He will tell Sean coming up. Plus, Michael Jackson has been cleared on all counts in his sex abuse trial. If you haven't heard, but will Tom Sneddon's team find another way to prosecute the King of Pop? We'll debate that coming up. And you are looking live at Jackson's Neverland Ranch, where Jacko now is resting easy. We'll bring you all the latest on today's verdict. Maybe you'll call Geraldo back during our show as well.
As we continue on Hannity and Holmes, I'm Sean Hannity. Also coming up in just a few minutes, my exclusive interview with Vice President Dick Cheney. He'll reveal his chances at a presidential bid in 2008. So is he running? Plus, what he really thinks about Howard Dean and Dean's mother.
Dean's mother?
Yeah, I'll explain.
That's not nice.
He also mentions
You
Hillary.
never talk about a guy's mother.
Oh, well, you got to watch. First, you continue with our coverage of today's acquittal of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. Joining us now from Los Angeles, criminal defense attorney Gloria Allred. Here in New York, Fox News legal analyst Mercedes Cohen. And still with us, the host of At Large, our very own Geraldo Rivera. Has he called you yet?
Not yet. I'm waiting.
He will call you.
I'm sure I'll get the call by.
You know what, Mercedes, you were in Geraldo's camp.
I've only been on the ground an hour. I just got back from Aruba.
Well, I know, you were great coverage this weekend. All right, so here's Michael Jackson. He's paid out millions, been accused in this case. This boy testified that he did this. What's Michael Jackson's future now? Is he going to talk about warm milk and fireplaces and cookies? Is he still going to sleep with teenage
boys? If
boys?
he's smart, he's going to say to himself, you know what, I went out on a limb. I do believe nothing. I didn't do anything to this child. I haven't done anything to any of these other boys. But I'm not
If he
going
ever
to go
sleeps
out
with a
to
child again, does he deserve to go to jail for stupidity?
Well,
I'll kick him in the you-know-what myself if he ever does that.
He needs to surround himself with really great people who are going to say, Michael, just wake up. This isn't Neverland. You're not in the Twilight Zone. You can't do this anymore.
But, Gloria, all right, for those people that may think he might have been acquitted here, but still think the way there's smoke, there's fire, we'll tell you that the recidivism rate of people that were to do this, and he's found not guilty here, would be quite high, and the impulse would be such that he wouldn't be able to stop. Your thoughts?
Well, here's what we do know, Sean. We do know that even after the reported multi-million-dollar settlement with the 93 child who alleged that he had been sexually abused by Michael Jackson continued to sleep in bed with young boys to whom he was unrelated. So, now that he's acquitted in the criminal case, will he continue to sleep in bed with young boys? I don't think Geraldo, with all due respect to Geraldo, whom I otherwise love, is going to be there with him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to kick him every time he contemplates having a boy in bed with him.
Michael told me to my face that he will never put himself in so vulnerable a position again. He understands that there's some conduct that is so far beyond the pale that it is indefensible. He gets it now.
Well,
Why didn't he get it after?
Never happen again.
Why didn't he get it after?
Said that
Hang
to
on,
your
Gloria.
face, Geraldo. Okay.
Why didn't he get it after he paid out the millions?
You know, I'm not Michael Jackson's psychiatrist, and I don't know what Michael Jackson, what conduct he has engaged in. All I know is we as lawyers, Gloria and Mercedes, what we have to remember is, was he guilty of these charges, these allegations? And I submit to you, this case was as thin as any case ever brought. When you strip away the emotion, when you strip away the freakiness of this guy, when you strip away his bizarre lifestyle, there was no there.
Well,
and the fact that to think that he would molest the kid after being exposed by Martin Bashir's documentary, after being exposed by the NBC Dateline, when everyone in the world is watching him, only then and there is he alleged to have molested this child. It defies human
Gloria,
nature.
isn't the problem here, Gloria, that the
the
prosecution really blew this? They tried to go too broad. They didn't really narrow down the charges. They tried to throw everything with the kitchen sink at him. They brought a bad case with tainted witnesses. Isn't that the problem here?
Well, you know, Alan, it's easy to beat up on lawyers who do not prevail in a case. I don't like to do that because even the best of lawyers cannot prevail in cases. But let me just say, this may not be the end of Michael Jackson's legal troubles. Because remember the O.J. Simpson case? He was acquitted, but then there was a civil case filed against him.
And I think you're right. But you know why, Gloria?
I'm about to
I think
blow.
you're right. I think
this case.
you're right.
He did not deny it.
But
under
it's
oath.
all
This
about
wasn't it.
money, though,
He
Gloria.
said
And this
that
is what
Michael Jackson never testified, and in the civil case, he's going to have to take the witness.
You're right,
Mercedes,
but Gloria, but this is what it
And
boils
then the
down
jury
to.
may or may
The
not
mother
believe
said on the cross-examination, I have lied for financial gain. So So really, the chips are going to fall sometime in the future, and see if she is actually going to bring a cause of
When
action.
Tom Sneddon
against
said,
Michael
"We'll see,"
Jackson.
was that the proper answer when he was asked, Mercedes, about whether he would continue to bring charges?
We're out of
Is that
time.
the right answer?
No,
A
exactly.
lawsuit by the child,
Thank you, Gloria.
not by the mother.
Good to see you. And I really
win them all, bud. You can't win them all.
I won the election. Predicted the election. That was important. I predicted the election. All right. Thank you, guys. Coming up next, my exclusive interview with Vice President Dick Cheney. He's going to tell us what he really thinks about DNC Chair Howard Dean. Plus, he takes on the critics of the war on terror. And then the very latest in the search for missing Alabama teen Natalie Holloway. Are the suspects in custody? Are they telling everything we know? We'll have new details tonight. Straight ahead. Tomorrow night on Hannity and Combs. That is all the time we have left this evening. Stay tuned. Greta Van Susteren is coming up next. We're going to be back tomorrow night with an exclusive and rare interview with former presidential candidate Ross Perot. And then later this week, Bernard Kerik will join us for an exclusive interview. We'll see.
This is a Fox News alert. Moments ago, Joe Jackson addressed the crowd at Neverland saying that Michael isn't well and is sleeping. We'll have the tape of that for you shortly. And tonight, the verdict, the world watch. Michael Jackson not guilty on all 10 counts.
We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of conspiracy as charged in count 1 of the indictment, dated June 13th, 2005, foreperson number 80. Count 2, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of a lewd act upon a minor child as charged in count 2 of the indictment, dated June 13th, 2005, foreperson number 80.
More than 300 people, some of whom had been there since the very beginning of this trial, waited outside the courthouse to learn Michael Jackson's fate.
I told you guys he's innocent!
Joining me by phone is Michael Jackson's brother, Jermaine Jackson. Welcome, Jermaine. And Jermaine, when you heard those words, not guilty, what did you think?
Well, I wasn't in the courtroom. I'm here with my brother, Tito, but I was very, 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 very happy because all along from the very beginning, we always said he was 1,000% innocent. And this was something that was concocted by the authorities up there, but we always felt that the citizens of Santa Maria and the whole county have been wonderful. They're wonderful people, and they served justice. And my brother has been innocent since day one. But it's something that the family had to go through, Greta, but we're very happy. We're very elated. We're a family. We're standing strong. And from the very beginning, we always knew that Michael would be vindicated and he would be free.
Jermaine, how tough was this for your brother Michael to go through?
It was very tough because to sit there and hear people lying on you, and just like I always say, it takes one person to tell the truth, but it takes many to concoct a lie and to put these false accusations on Michael. And then you had the media printing and reporting all the negative things and all the prosecution side, but never telling the truth. So the public was getting one side of it, but at the same time, the truth prevailed, and God is strong. God is greater than all of that, and so we always knew that. And having my mother there every day played a very important part in just the family, but we weren't allowed to all go in there because the family is strong together. We were only allowed 6 people. And there were a lot of empty seats in the courthouse all the time, but we could take them because we weren't allowed to sit there. But we're a strong family. We've always been strong. We've always been just so very, very supportive of Michael, and that all proved today. That came out. And I'm here with Tito. Excuse me?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
But I'm here with Tito, and he has something to say because he was there during the verdict. Just like I said, myself and Janet were upstairs because we weren't allowed in. But I'll let Tito talk right now. But I just want to say thank you to the world and Michael doesn't deserve to be in anybody's jail because he's not that kind of person. He's the most wonderful person you will ever meet. And people who came there, the reporters, to see Michael handcuffed going to jail, it didn't happen. It's not going to happen because he's been innocent since day one. And so that's...
All right, well, pass the phone to Tito. Let's see what Tito has to say.
All right, hold on. Hello?
Hello, Tito. So, Tito, what was it like sitting in the courtroom hearing those words, not guilty?
It's the greatest feeling in the world. I was just basically there to present my strength and make sure Mom was going to be okay, and to see Michael is free. He's free like a bird, and he's always been innocent of all this. And people have personal vendettas, and this shows what people in authority who doesn't use their authority properly, what they could do. And we're glad this is all behind us. We're a strong family, like Jermaine was saying, and we're going to keep going forward.
What did Michael say to the family after the verdict?
Well, we all just hugged each other, cried together, told each other we love each other, and it's just been a great moment after that verdict. And like I was saying, we're glad this is all behind us. This has really taken a toll on my mom, and she's an older lady now, and now like she said, she feels like a lot of things have been lifted off her. I really felt bad for her, all the pressure she had to go through.
So what are the plans now for the Jackson family, and in particular, what's Michael going to do now that all this is behind him?
Well, I'm going to suggest that Michael just take his time, rest, get his strength back, and get himself healthy. There's plenty of time to think about where you're going to go with your career and all those things. But right now, what Michael needs to do is just relax a little bit and just take in the beautiful days ahead of him.
Tito, he looked pretty thin as time was marching on. Was he losing weight throughout the course of the trial?
Well, Michael's always been a thin person, and anytime that you're tied up in anything like this, you know that you don't eat as well as you would on a happier note. So that happens all the time. That's natural. But he's going to be okay, and we're just happy that, like I said, this is all behind us, and people can press on. It's amazing. It's really amazing what people can do when you put the authority in the wrong hands. It's amazing.
What do you think about this jury?
The jury is beautiful, and that was one thing I was worried about, is because I didn't know who was who. But like Jermaine was saying, there's a beautiful community up there, and the people judged this for what it was. There was a lot of days I was in that courtroom, and I'll go home and listen to the reports on the news, and I would say, this is not the trial that I heard today. Because I think what was going on a lot, Greta, is that they were reporting more of a prosecution side than the defense side. So we didn't get a lot of the reporting of cross-examinations. And if anyone's scratching their head saying, how did he get off, that's because maybe they didn't get the full story and they wasn't in the courtroom.
What do you think of Tom Mesereau, Michael's lawyer?
Oh, he's a great lawyer. He's a great guy. He's a great lawyer. He did a great job. And we're just happy all this is behind Michael, and he can move on. Michael's a beautiful person. He's helped tons and tons of people, not just children, but adults alike, and throughout this whole world. And it's a shame that some people can't understand that, because maybe some people don't have that in their hearts. But he's a special individual.
Do you think, Tito, that Michael's going to change his lifestyle now? Because, I mean, look, he's been the target of several civil suits. He's been the target of criminal investigations and prosecution. Is he going to change the way he lives?
Well, I don't think anybody have a right to tell anybody how to live their life, as long as you're not doing anything that's not right or illegal. Michael have love for all people. It's not just children, like I said. He was raised with love, and all he wants to do is help people. And sometimes you can have the wrong people come across your life. I've had it. I'm pretty sure you face people in your life that feel that they can take something out of your pockets without you noticing, and that happens when you're in the spotlight, such as a Michael Jackson or any celebrity.
All right, you only had 6 seats in the courtroom today, but how many members of the Jackson family were showing up to support Michael today?
Jackie, who's was out of town because of his son, but we had the whole family practically there. The only ones that wasn't there was Marlon, who doesn't live in this county at all, because he was here over the weekend, and he was going to come back tonight in case the verdict happened, but it so happened today. But he spent a lot of time with Michael over the weekend, and like I said, Jackie was out of town with a thing on his son, but everyone else was there. Janet, myself, Reby, Janet, LaToya, Jermaine, and Randy, and all the grandchildren. We were all there.
What do you think your mother said to your brother, if anything, in sort of a private moment after it was all over?
Oh, like I said, we all just hugged each other, and we prayed, and we thanked the Lord for letting the truth be told, and we're a strong family. It's very funny because sometimes I hear things in the news that's totally false, that me and my brothers or my family is not a close-knit family. We've always been a very close family, and we're going to continue to be that.
What about Tom Sneddon, the DA? What are your thoughts about him, Tito?
Well, like I said, I think this was more of a personal thing for him, and I just say that, he was going to retire, and this was his last case to prosecute, so he's had his day in court, and he can retire now and go on vacation and enjoy the rest of his life. Yeah, and Jermaine has...
Your mother,
Jermaine would like to talk to you once more, Greta.
Okay, good. Put Jermaine on then.
Okay.
Greta, the last thing was most important. Michael showed up in court every day. He got up. He was there to face all these false accusations, things that were said about him. He was put before a jury. There weren't any blacks on the jury, but these were wonderful taxpayers from a beautiful county up there. Unfortunately, the ones who were in power, the authority, they had a hidden vendetta, and he came to court today, faced the verdict, and he came out victorious. So those who thought that Michael was going to run, was going to do this and that, why would he run when he knows he's innocent?
And,
so
and indeed, he didn't run at all. He showed up in court. He got 10 not guilties, and he's got a very happy set of brothers, and the rest of his family.
I'll just say this: he's my brother, but he's very, very strong. But at the same time, he's a human being. So
and with that, I got to go. Jermaine and Tito, thank you both very much for calling in. Coming up, Michael Jackson went straight home to his Neverland ranch after leaving the courtroom today. We will get a live report from Neverland, where Jackson was met by a huge crowd of screaming fans. The Michael Jackson jury of 8 women and 4 men deliberated 7 days before reaching a verdict. Joining us live on the phone is one of the jurors who served on the Michael Jackson trial. Mary Virginia Kennedy was an alternate juror on this case. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So what is your opinion of our justice system before starting your service as a juror and then after going through this? Do you have an improved opinion?
Oh, I certainly have. I think we've done a very good job. Well,
what was it about the trial that makes you feel that way?
Well, you listen and write and you read and you read and you read what you've written. And I come up before the trial was even got a verdict. And out of the 10, I had marked not guilty on all 10 of them.
What was it about the case that would have had you vote not guilty on all 10? Where was the weakness in the case?
The weakness, I think, was the mother and the children. The children had been taking acting lessons since they were 4 years old, and just he couldn't look at Jackson.
What did you think of Michael Jackson sitting in the courtroom? How did he look to you?
He looked very tired and very ill.
Is serving on this jury something that you were glad to be chosen for, or when you were chosen, did you sort of wish you hadn't been chosen?
Oh, no, I was glad to be, because I didn't know that much about the young man, because that's not my type of music. So,
Had you ever heard any Michael Jackson music?
oh, I probably have, but I never paid much attention to it.
What did you think about the prosecutor and the presentation of his case?
Well, I think they did a good job of presenting what they had, but it just wasn't enough. They just, they just improved it.
Do you sort of regret that you didn't get to participate in the final verdict because you were an alternate?
Oh, I think we all were a little disappointed in not being able to.
What about the fact that there was so much media there? Did that have any impact on you?
No, none at all. No.
Did you want Michael Jackson to testify? Did you want to hear from him?
Well, to begin with, I didn't think he would, because they always say it's only a fool that puts their client on the stand. But Did you see his mother and father and his family in the courtroom? Pretty prominent family.
Every day. His mother was there every day. And so was his brothers and sisters. And
what
the
about
father.
the people? What about the fans outside?
The fans I didn't see much of because we come in from the opposite side.
Well, Mary Virginia, I very much appreciate you joining us this evening. Coming up, we will hear from lead prosecutor Tom Sneddon. Why does he think he lost his trial? Would he do anything differently if he had another chance? And later, were any major mistakes made during the trial? Our legal panel weighs in. Plus, somebody is lying in Aruba. The suspects in Natalie Holloway's disappearance are each telling a different story about what happened the night she disappeared. Who is telling the truth?
We're always live.
You know, on news, it's fair and balanced, right? Well, you better wake up to Portland's morning news every morning from 5 to 9 a.m. on KXL. Then check out my show, The Tony Snow Show, from 2 to 4 in the afternoon on News Radio 750 KXL.
The lead prosecutor, Santa Barbara County District Attorney Tom Sneddon, spoke out about the Michael Jackson verdict.
Obviously, we're disappointed in the verdict, but we work every day in a system of justice. We believe in the system of justice. And I've been a prosecutor for 37 years, and 37 years I've never quarreled with a jury's verdict, and I'm not going to start today. So basically, that's all we really have to say. I'll answer a few questions, but I'm probably not going to remain too long. So if anybody has a question far away,
I think we're going to start over
see
here.
how it goes.
Can you hear me okay?
I certainly can.
Right. Have you spoken with the accuser and his family, and if so, what was their mood and the reaction to the verdict today?
No, as to all.
Can you address the defense's allegation throughout the trial that you rushed into this prosecution because of your past history with Mr. Jackson?
My past history of Mr. Jackson had absolutely, unequivocally, nothing to do with our evaluation of this particular case. That's been a nice little 30-second soundbite that the media has used to try to justify this thing, but it had never had anything to do with either the sheriff's investigation or our decision to file.
Fox's Trace Gallagher is live here at the courthouse. Trace?
Greta, Michael Jackson was facing 18 years in prison. Instead, he heard 14 different times the words not guilty, the 10 original counts, the 4 lesser charges. In the courtroom, Michael Jackson heard the verdict and he cried. His family cried. One of his attorneys was sobbing. Tom Sneddon, you just heard from him. He was red-faced when the verdict came down. He said in all his career he never quarreled with a jury's verdict. He was not about to start now. When asked if he was done pursuing Michael Jackson, he had no comment, but he said it was not a vendetta.
My past history of Mr. Jackson had absolutely, unequivocally, nothing to do with our evaluation of this particular case.
The jurors all spoke to the media, including the alternate, saying they came in with their beliefs, they studied the evidence, and there was reasonable doubt everywhere. And then one juror may have said it all.
What mother in her right mind would allow that to happen, or you know, just freely volunteer your child, you know, to sleep with someone, and not just so much Michael Jackson, but any person for that matter?
So the jury may resent Michael Jackson, but they resented the accuser's mother more, and they found almost no one, none of the witnesses to be credible. And then there were these people, the fans, many of whom were here from day one. They were so loud when the verdict came down, you could hear them inside the courtroom, and now they can all go back to their own lives.
I've been with Michael Jackson all the way, and I'm just so happy, and this is over for him. I just hope that he can rest and get his, and go touring again. Michael, we love you.
And Michael Jackson once wrote a lyric saying, "I'm going to make a change for once in my life." And I guess the big question is tonight, will he? Greta.
Thank you. Tonight, after leaving the courthouse, Jackson went straight home to his Neverland ranch. Fox's Adam Housley joins us live from Neverland. Adam?
Greta, it's been quite a party out here, going on 5 hours now. In fact, the papers came out not too long ago. They've been passing them out to all the fans. You can hear the music behind me, but all their arrivals, and some of them have to park as far as 2 miles away and walk in. All their arrivals pale in comparison to when Thomas Mesereau Jr. drove in here and he got stopped at the gates trying to get into Neverland. Take a listen. Finally, they had to bring out security to help get the car in. He was here for about 2 hours before he has left. That was about a half an hour ago. He finally left Neverland and went out much easier than he came in. Michael Jackson's arrival, much different. Take a comparison. Look at this. As Michael Jackson and the 3 SUVs came in about a half an hour before his attorney. When they came in, the crowds weren't nearly as packed as yet, but they went through and they had a couple of hands come out the windows, and that was just about it. We saw LaToya only for a brief moment as Michael went in. Now, from the air, about an hour or so ago, you see a picture of Joe Jackson, Michael's father, actually coming out to the gates and shaking hands, signing autographs, and at one point he made a statement. He told the crowd that Michael is sick, he's not feeling well, he is in bed. He said that it's a very happy day, but Michael needs to rest, and he's speaking on behalf of Michael, and he thanked everybody for their support. That's really all he said, and he continued to sign autographs before heading back up to the house. Now, we also caught up with Randy Jackson, Michael's brother, as he left not too long after Joe came out. One of our producers, Nora Zimet, caught up with him as he was pulling out, and here's what he had to say.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's been a long 2 years.
Do you have anything else?
I just need to rest now. It's been a lot of work. Take care.
Thank you.
Here's a live look right now, Greta. They just had the security come out and ask the fans to go away because Michael Jackson is sick, he is tired, he needs to rest. That comment just happened while we were talking to you. So they are now leaving en masse. The fans are listening and going away. And there are about 2 miles again of cars here. People have come from all over celebrating, playing music, and cheering as even the maids came out, Greta. It's been quite a scene here at Neverland Ranch. Back to you.
Adam, thank you. Coming up, more reaction from Michael Jackson's family and friends. They stood by him throughout this trial. Were they surprised by the verdict? And later, we're going to go live to Aruba for an update on the frantic search for Natalie Holloway. There is new information tonight about the 3 men last seen with her the night she disappeared. Was one of them just caught in a lie? Welcome back. Join us live in Santa Maria is Frank DeLeo, Michael Jackson's former manager. Frank, you've been here watching the trial for a number of days. What do you think?
I'm just flabbergasted and very happy for Michael. Not only did he get 10 not guilties today, but this should take care of all the doubt and the black cloud that has been over him. And this, what is it, 1108? That vindicates him from all of this stuff.
When were you his manager?
I managed him doing 1984 to 89. Through Thriller and Bad, the Victory Tour, and the Solo Tour.
What's he like?
He's one of the nicest, most talented human beings I've ever met. And he's a person that looks only for the good in people. That's why sometimes he gets into trouble. If he looked at both sides, he wouldn't catch himself in these situations. But he only looks for the good.
So what do you think happened here? I mean, he faced going to prison for 20 years or more.
Yeah, but you see, he knew he wasn't guilty. We knew he wasn't guilty. That's why he showed up today. And he showed up every day.
You know, a lot of people thought he'd run. A lot of people
thought he'd run. I never thought he would run. I knew he would come and face the music.
Did there come a time though when you thought that
I would have ran myself. I'd have been out of there.
Well, that's what actually, frankly, that's what a lot of people said behind the scenes here. A lot of the media, that different people would have run as well. Did you worry about the fact? I mean, the verdict can go another way.
Well, naturally I was worried when they called and said they had a verdict. I mean, that's when you really start to get nervous. But I knew he wasn't guilty, and I knew this family was a bunch of gypsies just passing through.
I mean, the accuser and the family.
Yes.
You sat there how many days, at least the last couple of weeks I've seen you there?
I've been there about 3 weeks or so.
How hard has this been on his parents?
I think it's been very difficult. It's quite a strain to sit there, hear them say the bad things that they say about your son, and then when the media starts in, I mean, sometimes some of this media had no mercy.
We have 30
they
seconds.
Forgot he was a human being.
We have 30 seconds left. Can he resurrect his career?
He can resurrect his career. He's a very talented human being.
What does he have to do? Just get out and sing?
Right now he just has to worry about getting healthy and relax. Everything else will fall into place because he's vindicated.
Frank, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's bring in our legal panel. In Columbus, Ohio is criminal defense attorney Jeff Feiger. In New York, former Westchester County judge and current Westchester County DA Janine Ferris-Pirot. And in Tampa's criminal defense attorney Jeff Brown. Janine, your thoughts, reactions to the verdict today?
Well, first of all, we have to always accept a jury's verdict. It's what our system is all about. 12 people sit in that room, they listen to the evidence, they assess the credibility of the witnesses, and they make their decision. And we should all support that decision. That's the bottom line. But make no mistake, Greta, the child sexual abuse cases are very difficult to prosecute. It's the word of a child against an adult. And in this case, there wasn't even any forensic evidence. There wasn't any physical evidence that indicated that there was sexual contact. So, you know, for prosecutors, though, we have an obligation to bring charges when we believe someone, and you never know what the case is how it's going to unfold in front of the jury. And certainly these witnesses were not from central casting.
All right, Jeff Brown, your reaction. This is my heartbreak, so you got to give it to me fast.
Well, I've said this all along. I said that I thought he was going to be not guilty, and you just can't build a case on a foundation as weak as these. These witnesses lacked utter credibility. Anybody who was charged with a crime, I don't care what it is, would be aghast if they were convicted with these two witnesses. And I think it's a great day for the system. I think the system worked, and reasonable doubt means something, and these jurors understood that. I have a lot of faith in this system.
All right, well, we have much more with the rest of our panel after this break. Don't go away. And later, join us live from Santa Maria is Jackson family spokesperson Angel Hawansky. Angel, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Angel, last night you were with Michael's parents. Where were you?
We were at a private place. We ate dinner, and we had a very nice conversation. I was telling the parents how proud I was of them. Miss Jackson came every single day, and that takes a lot out of you.
Did they ever pour their heart out to you, though? I mean, because it must have been extremely excruciating going through this last several months.
It was awful for them to watch their son go through this, and it not only affected Michael, it affected the siblings and the grandchildren and the whole family. They knew he was innocent from day one, and finally the world knows, and Michael can put this behind him, the family can put this behind him, and they're a very strong family unit, and they're the most loving people I've ever met, and I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy.
What is the state of Michael's health?
I can't really comment on that. All I knew, like everybody else, was that he was a little dehydrated, but it wouldn't be fair for me to comment on his health at all. I understand that he just needed fluids, but that's pretty much all I know.
And I take it the parents are happy tonight?
Oh my goodness. You just don't know. Last night I never thought he was going to be pronounced guilty, but I was still kind of like, you know, what if? Even though I knew in my heart, so the parents were encouraging me.
All right, Angel, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Right.
We are back with our panel, and joining us former San Francisco Assistant DA Jim Hammer. Jeff Feiger, your thoughts about the verdict today? You surprised?
I told you, it's California. I don't think you could describe this as vindication. When you claim to be vindicated as a result of an acquittal in a sexual molestation case involving children, I don't think that's an acquittal. Michael Jackson, what he did was he held a gun to his head, he fired it, and he moved his head. This was entirely of his own doing. He created it, he put himself in that position, he surrounded himself with these people, and he barely missed utterly and completely destroying his life. How it's affected him from now on, I'm sure we'll know in the future, but believe me, he doesn't come out of this unscathed.
Jim, how do you describe those moments when the first not guilty started coming, the 1 of 10?
Well, I was sitting next to you, and I don't know if I was clutching your arm or the hand rest of the chair stronger, but the intensity was so amazing. The first count, a lot of us predicted on the conspiracy grid, but that second count was based upon the boy's testimony itself. And Jeff predicted on this air, and we have the tape, Jeff, that Jackson would be convicted. I wasn't so sure. But I'll tell you, it was a cliffhanger all along. I simply didn't know. No, Jeff
Brown
Feiger,
never did. Jeff
Brown's a genius, but Feiger got it wrong. But I thought it was a cliffhanger till the end. I did not know what that verdict was going to be. I thought, like Jeff,
actually, Jim, I said
there was a real chance he would be convicted. So I was in a bit of
I did not predict
else.
his conviction, Jim. I said
we have the tape.
In the rest of the country, I said he'd be convicted in a second. I said in California.
No.
knows?
You said Jackson
yes, I did.
Convicted. We have the tape. I'll mail it to you for Christmas, Feiger.
Thank you.
So,
I was standing alone on this.
Janine, what's the DA going through tonight?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Everyone asked about whether or not Michael Jackson's lawyer, Mesereau, would have spoken to him before the verdict came back. And there's no question about it. You prepare a client for the possibility of his being convicted and going to jail. No one asked the question about what would happen tonight with the young boy and the family. And irrespective of whether or not you like the mother or dislike the mother, as prosecutors, what we end up doing is going back to child witnesses and basically telling them the jury didn't believe you, they didn't find you credible. It's a very difficult situation to be in, to have to explain this to a jury, because make no mistake, Greta, a grand jury indicted Michael Jackson on this case, and there was no motion.
But a very different standard.
Let me just finish. What I'm saying is that there was some evidence, and so the family went forward. Now the family's being told you're not believed, you're not credible, and you know, Sneddon in terms of himself, he's got to deal with the issue of why did he try this case himself? You know, why was he so aggressive on this thing personally? That's why DAs across the country, for the most part, have their staff try these cases. It's a situation where if you become bigger than the case, that's not the right way to handle it. So what Sneddon's going through tonight is talking to the family, dealing with issues in his office, the reflection on his office, and going forward with the next case.
And with that, I need to say good night to the panel. Thank you all. Coming up, 5 men are under arrest in Connecticut tonight. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Until then, keep it right here on Fox News Channel, the most powerful name in news. Good night from Santa Maria, California.
The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight. Michael Jackson not guilty on all counts. We'll spend the next 60 minutes analyzing what many believe is a stunning verdict. We'll hear from the jury and analyze why they did what they did. We'll also run down the winners and losers in the case beside Jackson and have live coverage of anything that happens within the hour. Once again, Michael Jackson not guilty. The Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. A short talking points memo on the not guilty Jackson verdict before we get to analysis. For one of the few times in my life I didn't make a prediction about the case. Usually I'm shooting from the hip, but this one was too murky. That's because the accuser and his family were obviously troubled with a history of irresponsible behavior. Any jury has to take that into consideration.